Oh, thank you for joining TNT Divine. Sorry I'm late today. No excuses though. All of the internet and food and oh man, it's been one of those days, but the show must go on. Thank you for joining my channel at TNT Divine. Eat healthy and still be creative, and you won't see any measuring or anything like that. We Please follow me, like, share, and subscribe. You can also donate to Toby Growing Cash App to reach us to do workshops. I'll be doing a lot of workshops teaching people how to create. So you'll come to my studio in Kansas City, Missouri, and we will learn to create together. We'll do like couple workshops and stuff like that. If you're interested in those workshops, you can call me at 816-514-7007. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to give people a little bit of time because I know I was supposed to be on at 2 o'clock. So that gives me enough time to get everything together. All righty. So again, I do apologize, but the show must go on. And that's why I did this YouTube, because I wanted to learn all of the ins and outs. So any mistakes or whatever that are made today, we would definitely correct it. Our official launch for the channel is going to be January 6th at 4 p.m. So at 4 p.m. So I will be live. We'll be doing, today we're going to do the chicken and vegetable linguine. We will do the seafood linguine on the 6th so that you guys will get a chance to see how that's made. Also, if you are entered into the raffle is definitely going to be on the 9th. So I'll go live on the 9th for that so that we can pick our winner for the raffle. All you have to do is comment down below, hashtag TNT Divine LLC, and that's DEVINE LLC. So you'll hashtag that in the comments below. Some of you guys were here earlier when I should have been on, but I wasn't. So if you go ahead, come back, watch the video, put your hashtag in there, I'll add all of those into the raffle. The raffle is going to be sweet. We will do more plates. I think the next thing we're going to do is a stir fry. A lot of people were asking about the stir fry and how you can make a really healthy stir fry. So we'll go over that. Also, let's see, have I done everything I need to do? All right. Yeah, I think I got it. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, I do apologize for being late, but technical difficulties wouldn't allow me. Today has been one of those days, but we're going to do it regardless. All right. So healthy meals. What I have now is I have my water boiling and my olive oil in. I just pre-prep this, pre-cut everything up. Your prep time for this meal should run about, your prep time for this meal should be about, let's see, maybe 10-15 minutes should be your prep time. All right. Bear with me one moment. All righty. So once you have your noodles on, once you have your water, and I use olive oil, okay. I always like the darker the bottle, the better. Okay. So we already got that going. And because the pre-recorded version of this got deleted somehow, we are going to use fettuccine noodles instead of linguine noodles today, but same concept, same everything. All right, so with your noodles, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of create a spiral. You're going to create a spiral simply because you don't want your noodles to stick. And all you do is go back and forth with your spiral. All right. That way they won't stick. And then when you start your second scoop, make sure that you are doing it on the opposite way of where you ended the last one. So your hand should be tilted the opposite way. Okay. That way you make sure that your noodles are layered in the pot. So wherever your hand landed, you're going to go the other way. And if you want to know again how much water, you're good. One box of these noodles, whether it be spaghetti or linguine, usually one box will fit this pot halfway, and then you're going to have just a little bit of water over it. Again, we don't use measuring cups. We're going to create. We are not cooking. So we're not going to measure it out. You're going to look at your pot and you're going to see, if I'm going to cook a whole box, I need a big pot. Okay. If I'm not going to cook a big box, I can use a smaller pot. All right. If I'm going to cook half the box, just depending on how many people you're cooking for. So for me, I'm going to cook for 6 people. So that's a family, family of 6. So again, you're going to spin those noodles out like that. All right. That way, when they cook, they do not stick. Okay. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to start our chicken. So as you cook your chicken, so we're going to do a chicken linguine, and we are also going to do a vegetable linguine. So we're going to do both of those items together today, and I'm going to show you how to put that together. Now, the most important part of the meal is, of course, going to be your seasoning, because the hard part about eating healthy is that the food is so bland, or people are scared that it's going to be bland. Okay. Now, I always recommend that you use non-stick pans. Reason being is because the whole idea of eating healthy and things like that is an expensive way to go. So we want to save money everywhere. A good example of that would be if you're frying an egg. If you're frying an egg or scrambling eggs, most of the egg, if you have a non-stick pan, if you have a pan that does not stick, then you're going to add an extra egg in there. So if you want 2 eggs, you'll cook 3 eggs because you're only going to get 2 eggs off the pan. This will save you money, especially non-stick pans will save you money. Yeah, they cost a little bit, but I'll tell you this, you can go to Goodwills, things like that, and find non-stick pans. So definitely get you some non-stick pans to save money on food. Right now, food is so expensive. You want to save wherever you can, because a healthy lifestyle is expensive, but I'm going to teach you how through my channel to cook healthy and expand your food, expand your palate. All right, so all I'm doing is moving that oil around. I want it to coat the bottom. And then we're going to lay that chicken in the pan. Lay the chicken in the pan. And you want to kind of lay it in there evenly for yourself. And what I use is chicken breast. So the easiest way to measure your chicken breast is so that you know how much to cook. All right. The easiest way to do that is if you're feeding your family on a regular basis and you're cooking chicken breast, right? If one family member eats a whole chicken breast, like maybe dad or something like that, or your older sons, stuff like that, then you're gonna slice up a chicken breast for each person. And then if you have like younger kids, stuff like that, they might only eat half of a chicken breast. So when you're doing it, you'll count as a half of a chicken breast for them. All right. And that's how you'll make sure that you're cooking enough meat for the meal. Now, if you are trying to cut out meat, period, okay, the easiest way to do that is start to cook less and less meat with your meals. Your family will be a lot more responsive if you just don't cut it off. Oh, we're going to be vegan, or oh, we're going to be this in a day. The easiest way to do it is just to start backing the chicken out, or if you want to get off of red meat, backing the red meat out. Those are the easiest ways to do it. So don't cook as much. So that'll keep you on a healthy track, make it easy for you to get the family to switch over to eating healthy. Because once you've eaten unhealthy for a long time, it's really hard as a parent to switch the kids over to the healthy eating without purpose. And so definitely take your time with it. Start backing that meat out if that is a part of your journey. Of course, everyone is not on that journey. So that's why I'm cooking the vegetable linguine and the chicken linguine, so you guys can get a chance to see both of those cooking. Now, once I get my chicken laid in my pan, I'm going to add my seasoning. So because we're doing a linguine, we're going to give it a little basil, just a little bit. Of course, we're going to pull in our turmeric. This is really good for inflammation and things like that. You don't want to put too much turmeric, okay? Because once it kicks, it kicks. You're also, whenever you're using your turmeric, you want to make sure you activate the turmeric with pepper, okay? So definitely add a little pepper in there so we can activate that turmeric, because a lot of people will throw turmeric in it and it's not actually doing anything because they're not putting the pepper in it, okay? And the other seasoning I like to use is Mrs. Dash garlic and herb when I'm doing a chicken. That's going to go in this type of deal. So we'll learn about different seasons and things like that as we go on. And then I always like to add a little Italian blend. Now, be careful when you are buying your seasonings. The most important part about buying seasoning, if you're going to be healthy, is to read the ingredients, okay? If it starts with salt, that means that is the ingredient that is used the most in the product. So definitely do not want to use seasonings that start with salt. All right. So now we are going to get our chicken going. Now, one of the reasons I did this meal is because of the turmeric. All right. Now, when you cook with turmeric, and I just want you guys to see this, that's why I started with it. So let me switch. I'll make sure you guys can see it. All right. So I want to make sure you guys can see the turmeric. Now, turmeric is really thick. All right. So whenever you're cooking with turmeric, you want to definitely make sure that you add a little water because turmeric is really thick. So as you're cooking with the turmeric, the reason I chose this meal is because the turmeric is a little cheap for you guys. So you can make sure that you have your seasoning all over all of your meat. Okay? Because if it's not this yellow kind of orange color, then you know you haven't gotten your seasoning there. Using turmeric is a great way to start creating food simply because it kind of gives you a guideline when you're learning to cook. And not to mention that it's good for you, cutting down inflammation and things like that people tell you to take ibuprofen and things like that for. So you can cook it in your food, and then that way, like arthritis, turmeric is great for arthritis, Coppertone syndrome. Coppertone. Y'all, I'm trying to cook and get it all out. So yeah, you're going to mix it all up. And as you can see, you'll see the meat start to whiten up. That's how you know. As that meat starts to whiten up, you know you're cooking. Make sure that you're watching the bottom of that pan just to make sure you have enough water. And as you can see, I'm just adding a little splash. I'm not drenching the chicken in it. I'm just keeping the bottom of the pan moist until the chicken juices start to settle in the pan. And as you're going, you're just going to mix that chicken around. And you're going to let that chicken sit. All right. And as you're doing that, we're checking on the noodles. And as you can see, the noodles are starting to soften. Now, when you're cooking noodles, okay, some people like them really soft. Some people like them hard. Just to let you know, the longer you cook the noodle, the less nutrients that is in the noodle. Okay. So I don't like my noodles cooked soft because I like to eat with purpose. So all I'm doing now is just kind of moving the noodles around a little bit. And as you can see, none of them are sticking together. That is the oil that we put in there. Okay. That's your oil. So as we're going here, you can see our chicken is starting to whiten up. And all I'm doing is just flipping it. Now, I know some people, this will be the beginning of your journey of cooking or creating rather. So a lot of you guys that I've talked to have pretty much said, how do you know when the meat is done? All right. Now, in order to know when the meat is done, you always want to take the biggest piece of chicken that you have in the pot. All right. That biggest piece of chicken in the pot or steak or whatever the case may be, that is going to be your point of reference. Okay. That's going to be your point of reference. Once that piece is done, you'll know that the pan is done. All right. So we're going to give that a few moments. And I'm going to switch this back so that you guys can watch those noodles. There we go. All right. Seems like this one is, yeah, cooking faster. All right. So while we're doing that, And while that chicken's cooking, now this is one of my favorite parts. This is your sauce. All right. So the sauce is, as you can see, now again, when you're creating, you're putting just a little bit of seasoning in your meats and your vegetables. Okay. Because the purpose for that is a lot of your seasoning is going to be in your sauce. All right. So you don't want to over season your food so that your sauce is overwhelmed. Okay. So let's create our sauce. So I tried a new sauce today. I don't normally get this sauce, but the reason I got it today, y'all, I gotta pop it. All right. So you're gonna pour your first jar of sauce in here. I'm gonna pour that first jar in there. And it doesn't really matter what brand you get because it's your seasoning that is going to make the sauce what it is. Now, a lot of people, they'll make their sauce from scratch, which we could do that too. But I just wanted to create a meal today that you guys would be able to cook at home really quick. Okay. So here's your sauce. We've got all our sauce in there. And you are going to add your sauce. Then you're going to add green onion. You're going to get your green onion in there. And we are going to, we're going to get our peppers in, the yellow peppers. And you're just going to add a little bit. Now, I'm cooking 2 jars, so I'm a little heavy on the seasoning because I'm cooking 2 jars. So if you're only cooking 1 jar, you don't have to put as many in. But you only put a few in for flavor. You don't want the pepper to take over your sauce. So just put in a little bit. Now, we're going to use ginger. When you use ginger, again, that ginger is one of those items that are heavy. So you just want to put a little bit of ginger in your food. So I always say like a smidget of it. You don't want a whole lot. You just want a little kickback for flavor. Okay. So as you can see, it's just a smidget of it in there. All right. Then you're going to add your garlic. And you don't want to put too much garlic, about 2 smidgets, 3 smidgets of garlic. You're going to bring your basil back. You're going to pull your oregano. And as you can see, we're creating a meal. So as you start cooking, you're going to learn to trust yourself in the kitchen. So when you taste your food, if it has too much of something, just make a mental note of that and make the adjustments next time. But just a sprinkle of everything. And if you're heavy-handed, which I know some people are heavy-handed when it comes to cooking, if you are heavy-handed, the easiest way to avoid being heavy-handed is to tap your ingredients on the side of the pot. All right. So an example of that would be, instead of like I just did pouring the seasoning this way, what you're going to do is you're going to tap it on the pot. That keeps you from over seasoning your food. So just tap it on the side a couple of times. And it's okay that I put a little extra in there simply because I'm going to use 2 jars. All right. So we're going to let that sauce sit for just a moment. And our chicken is almost done here. Get this piece right here. I don't know about y'all, but that chicken looks really good to me. All right, so back to the sauce. Once you get your sauce and you get all of your ingredients in there, if you're doing 2 jars like I am, you're going to add your second jar. You're going to add your second jar on top of that. It just helps it blend easier. And you kind of separate the two. Plus, if anything happens, like if anything happens where you over season or a cap pops off or anything like that, which happens, you know, it does. You can always use sugar in your food. If it's a salty food, you can always use water if it's a sugary ingredient to blend the flavor out. All right. So now we're going to stir our sauce. Mix it in really good. Get that sauce going really good. Stir it in. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a close-up of that sauce. That sauce is nice, right? That thing is pretty, and we ain't even put the heat to it yet. But that's all your ingredients. You can get them stirred in. Make sure you're reaching all your corners so that you get all your flavor. All right. Now our noodles have definitely cooked down. They're looking good. Now, linguine noodles don't take as long as fettuccine noodles. So if you're going to do a fettuccine, you need a little extra time for the noodles. Okay? But you don't need that extra time with linguine. They cook in about the time of spaghetti noodles. But we had to do a substitute today, so it will cook a little longer. And you'll know when they're when they're good is when they get a little white on them. Again, the more that you cook them, though, the harder you cook them, the less nutrients you're going to get out of them. All right. So here we go. We got our chicken, and our chicken is just about done. Oh, yeah. All right. And once that chicken is done, all you're going to do is, like I said, we're going to take the biggest one, fattest one. We're going to open it up. Once you open it up, you're going to be able to see whether there is any red meat in there. So do you see anything pink or red or anything like that? You just cut it open, check your pieces. See how white that is? Because you don't want to overcook your chicken. because you don't want it to be dry. And as you can see, it's still moisture in the bottom of the pan from the chicken and that little bit of turmeric and that little bit of water in me. Now, anytime the smaller the chicken pieces, the faster the chicken will cook for you. So if you're in a hurry and you're trying to make something healthy, it's worth the time of taking just a little extra moment to keep that chicken, cut that chicken thin, you know. So I'm just going to tap it a little bit just because it makes it a little easier for us. And I want to make sure that everything is done. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel, please. And also, we are going to be doing some pressure cooker meals and crock pot meals. So I'm going to show you guys how to do those too, so that the working moms, I'm going to show y'all a 12-minute spaghetti. It's really healthy, but you can do it in 12 instead of heating up or microwaving a meal or giving them some ravioli or something like that out the can. Want to try to stay away from canned foods as much as possible, simply because canned food does have a lot of sodium in it. So staying away from canned goods is really good. All right, our chicken's almost done. I'm going to remove the noodles because they are about done also. All right, awesome. All right, so I'm going to flip this chicken over here so it can finish, and we are going to start the vegetables. So we'll have our vegetables going. I'm going to tap a little bit of this oil. So here we're going to do the chicken linguine, and over here, this is what your vegetable linguine looks like. Again, you just want enough to really cover the bottom of that pan. Okay, now, one of the ingredients that is so healthy for people, but people have such a dislike for the taste of it, is kale. So I'm going to show you guys my secret to cooking with that kale. All right. So here's the vegetable part of it. So I'm doing a frozen vegetable and I'm doing fresh vegetables just so you guys can see that you can use frozen vegetables in the ingredients. Okay. All right. So here's our kale. I'm going to throw that in first. Oh, sorry. We're going to do our mushrooms first. We're going to add some mushrooms to the pan. Now, this is really good. And the reason I don't cut the mushrooms up is because people who are coming off of meat, mushrooms are a great thing to use to kind of play as meat in your meal. It kind of takes away from the fact that there isn't meat in it. Okay. So we're going to do our green peppers and mushrooms first, just because they take the longest to cook. And again, you don't want to cook your vegetables and stuff too hard, because the harder you cook them, the nutrients, you're cooking it out of it. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to season the vegetables. You want to remember that when this goes together, you do not want to over season food. Okay. Again, we're using the turmeric, and we're using the turmeric for inflammation, arthritis, things like that. Anytime you use a turmeric, you want to make sure that you add a pepper. Pepper is what activates the turmeric. So anytime you've been cooking or whatever the case may be, and you didn't add pepper of some kind to it, then you weren't really doing anything. All right. Your Italian seasoned blend, I'm going to just put a little bit in here. Again, we're not going to over season the vegetables because of the sauce. All right. And if you notice, I'm using different utensils. You do not want to cross-contaminate. If you are a person that is trying to have some family members that don't eat meat or whatever the case may be. And again, you'll notice, and I'm using the turmeric in all of this just really so that you guys can make sure that you're looking at how you can cover your seasoning over all of your food. So this is how you know that all of your food is covered with seasoning. It's a little cheat with the turmeric. And if you guys remember from earlier in the video when we did the chicken, anytime you are doing a turmeric, you're going to want to add a little water simply because that turmeric is a thick seasoning when you get it like that. It's not as thick when you do it fresh, when you do fresh turmeric, but Lord knows I don't want all those orange fingers and all of that comes along with doing that turmeric, because it is a messy, messy, messy thing, but it is so good for us. So I just buy it in the powder. Some people take it as a pill, things like that. It's really up to you how you get it in. Just definitely get your turmeric in if you're having arthritis issues or inflammation issues, things like that. The turmeric is going to be the best solution for that. And I just added a little more water just because I need that turmeric to spread just a little more. All right. And our chicken is about done here. It is just about done. And that chicken looks good. And please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And recommend it to someone that you know is interested in eating healthy foods and really doesn't know how to bring the flavor out of the food and still be healthy. I want to thank you guys again for joining me today and joining me late today because I was a little late today, but I appreciate the fact that you guys are checking me out. And definitely like, share, and subscribe. Now, again, our official launch for this channel is going to be January 6th at 4 p.m. That is January 6th at 4 p.m. We are going to do a seafood linguine. We'll be doing stir fries and things like that. Anything that you guys want me to cook. If you're interested in figuring out how to make a particular food, a healthy food, interesting, or a flavor to it, or whatever the case may be, comment below. Let me know what you guys would like to see. I can definitely do that for you. So we'll put some recipes together and things like that. We can do it together. We're creating a new lifestyle. So I'll be doing workout videos, you guys, for people who have a lot of stress. I'll also be doing some budget videos. The budget video will be later this week. I'll do that later this week so you guys can see what type of money you need to earn to hit your goals for 2023. So I'll do that probably Monday or Tuesday. We'll get that video out. It was supposed to be done today, but it didn't work out. So we're going to work that thing out anyway. So we will be doing some workout videos. The workout videos won't be, again, like your normal workout videos, things like that. We're going to do things that help relieve stress. So we're going to try to heal the body overall. I will have my daughter here. She's an herbalist or studying to be an herbalist. So we will definitely have her on here giving us some tips on what herbs we can and cannot use, what the herbs are for. We're going to have people on the show that I'm really looking forward to. My stylist, actually, she will come on and talk about health tips for your hair and your dreads, things like that. We will also have Caroline Creations. She'll be coming on the show, and she will be talking about fixing desserts and things like that. So we're going to have a large variety of different things so that we can create a community together that eats healthy. Every time you watch my channel or subscribe, our overall goal is to get these meals into kids in school. So overall, what we want to do at TNT Divine is we want to cook these meals and teach kids how to cook these meals in school. So each meal I cook, every like, every share is getting us closer to those goals in order to be able to cook these meals in schools for students so that they can take these healthy ideas home with them. We'll be giving away aprons and things like that to the students so that they can remember. Also, if you guys have anybody in the community that you would like to highlight that you think is somewhat important for the kids that they need to know or see, we have to create heroes in the community, and this is how we will do it. So as you can see, I put my mushrooms in there a little bit. We cook the green peppers. Again, I don't like to overcook the vegetables. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to add the rest of our vegetables. Now, again, kale is one of those vegetables that people do not like. They just don't like the flavor, the texture, whatever the case may be. But I do have a secret for you guys today to make kale taste a lot better, and you are not going to believe what it is. It is the secret ingredient. And you're just going to stir it in a little bit because your kale is going to cook down. And again, you can also use frozen kale for this. I would recommend using frozen kale for somebody who's just starting to create in the kitchen because it's a lot easier to manage. So definitely use that. And again, you can always use frozen vegetables. Like I'm going to do that here. Honey, this bag don't want me to cut it open. There we go. So now we're going to add our mixed vegetables on top. And this will help it cook down too. All right, so as you are cooking, you want to start from the outside and flip in. That way you don't lose your food on the table or the stove or whatever. Although the kale is trying to jump out anyway. All right. All right. Yep. All right. And the secret ingredient that goes along with your kale, believe it or not, is ranch. Putting ranch on kale, for some reason, it just saves it. So you're just going to sprinkle that ranch across the top. And just remember, you don't want to over season anything because of your sauce. But we want to make sure that that kale gets enough ranch. And we're going to throw a little oregano here. Not too much, you just sprinkle it across the top. Again, if you're heavy-handed with seasoning, all you have to do is put your hand over the food, and you can use your hand to tap the seasoning over the food so you don't have to pour. All right. So you are going to mix that in, again, coming from the outside in. You do not want to overcook. You do not want to overcook. And using frozen vegetables helps you not to overcook. Because you're giving yourself a little bit of time in that because it's frozen. So frozen vegetables are really good to use if you're a beginner in the kitchen cooking. All right, so again, we don't want to overcook that chicken. We want to check that chicken. I'm just checking the big pieces. If your big pieces are cooked, yep. Juice, juice, juice. Flip it from the outside in, where you don't lose it. And boom, there's our chicken. Now we're going to throw our sauce on. Now, as your sauce starts to cook, you're just going to tap those sides every now and then. Again, we always want to try not to waste food. But now that you put your ingredients in, all it needs is heat. Okay. Now, if you really want to have a real zesty sauce, you can let that sauce sit overnight. All right, all right, and again, I'm using different silverware because some people in my immediate family, they don't eat meat. So we're going to have our veggie, and we're also going to have our chicken. And you do not want to use the same utensils. And as you can see down in here, that extra juice from the frozen vegetables gives it just a little bit more juice to cook your kale down. And I didn't have to add any extra. That's another cheat for you. If you're worried about putting too much water in the pan, when you use your frozen vegetables, they're going to cook down and give you juice anyway. As you can see, you see those vegetables cooking down. And we're just going to make sure we get all of it mixed in really good. Oh, man. And then you're going to let it sit. Once you get it mixed in really good, again, your vegetables, you're not going to cook that long. You just want to really give them make sure they get the flavor in them. We want the flavor in it, but we do not want them cooked long. Again, the longer that they cook, the less nutrients they have in them. And please like, share, and subscribe my channel so that if there are other people out there that want to learn how to eat healthy, also, if you would like to see me cook something healthy that you don't know what to do with, if there's like kale and you want to see something else with kale, if you want chicken, fish, whatever the case may be, I will be doing some seafood linguine again on the official launch day, which is January 6th. You can also follow us on Facebook, TNT Divine LLC. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and you can also leave reviews on Yelp once you've entered one of our workshops. We will start workshops. Again, like, share, and subscribe. You can also donate to Cash App, Toby Growin, GROWIN. You can also reach us at 816-514-7007. Again, that number is 816-514-7007. You can always give us a call if you'd like to do a healthy workshop. You can bring the whole family so that we can teach everybody in the house, whoever turn it is to cook, how to cook a healthy meal. We can also create different ideas and things like that so that we can create a healthy community. If you have healthy meals that you already have together, you can definitely post pictures, things like that in the link below. Do not forget that the raffle is going to be on the 9th. That will be January 9th is when we do the raffle giveaway. How you enter the raffle is you will be able to, you can hashtag the lives like this one now. You can hashtag it, put hashtag TNT Divine LLC. That will give you tickets into the raffle. You can also order plates. You can order food, all of those types of things to like, share, and subscribe. Once you like, share, and subscribe, that will get you tickets into the raffle. Again, that raffle giveaway will be on the 9th. The official launch for this channel will be on January 6th. So please join us again January 6th at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I always forget to say that. I've lived so many places. Amen. So we are in Central Standard Time. All right. So now we've got our vegetables kind of cooking in there. Oh, yeah. Now, the major part of the presentation of introducing your family to a healthy meal is the presentation. That is the most important part, because if it doesn't look desirable to children, they are not going to eat it. That's why the turmeric is really good for colors. Carrots are really good for colors. Cauliflower is good for color. Use a lot of those type of vegetables. The peppers. Peppers are great for color. Use things like that have color and so that it can entertain the kids, because they don't want to eat they don't want to eat nothing they don't see visually, or family period. They don't want to eat nothing that looks all bland like oatmeal, you know. If they like oatmeal, they like oatmeal, but if they don't, you ain't gonna get them to eat it, because it does not look desirable. But I love oatmeal. And I'm stirring my pot for the sauce. You're going to stir from the outside in. All right. All right. You stir from the outside in. And let me grab the strainer really quick. I'm going to grab that, and I will definitely. All right. So we are ready, y'all. We are ready to present, y'all. Do one more flip here. Again, you don't want to overcook those vegetables, y'all, because the more and more you cook them, the less nutrients you have in them. And again, that's kale, carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, mushrooms, and green pepper. All right. And again, presentation is the most important part of it. Oh, yeah, that sauce is settling just right. All right. So now we're going to do the noodles. So I'm going to turn this way so you guys can see. We're going to do our strainer. Oh, man. 1 second. All right, so the easiest way to do the noodles, all right, that is just about done. The easiest way to do the noodles, let's see. The easiest way to do your noodles is to pick the noodles up, put them in a strainer, and I use these to pick them up. It's just easier to do it that way with the fatter noodles. All right. And all you're going to do is just let it drain. Man. All right. I just had to grab a plate so that we can set up our presentation. Of course, everything is out of order and out of place because the family is busy. Shout out to all the families that's rearranging people's kitchens today. We're gonna have to go back and rearrange everything and put it back where we normally had it. All right. So we've let those noodles drain a little bit. And again, the most important part about the meal is your presentation. So if you don't present the meal desirable, it won't be desirable. It takes a few extra seconds to make the meal presentable. And when you're trying to introduce that meal to your family and you want them to eat healthy, you got to take the time. You have got to take that extra time. All right, now our vegetables are done. As you can see, we just cook them enough so that they're basically heated. Your carrots and everything are all blended in, looking good. All right, everything looks great. So what I'm going to do, and this is for people who are cooking that separate meat so you don't overcook your stuff. You're going to put those vegetables to the side. And you can tap your chicken one more time so that when you present the food, it is not cold, but it's not cold anyway. But I always like to tap it one more time just for that extra heat. So you just tap it again. Take a chance. You're going to stir your sauce one more time. And as you can see, I love cooking on hot plates simply because it cooks from the bottom up. I love that. Like gas, it'll heat the whole pot up and it's, or your stove tops, they'll heat the whole pan, the whole pot up. But the burners, they just cook straight from the bottom up. So if you're cooking at home, your meal is not going to take as long to cook as mine does here because of the hot plates. But I like to cook it slow so that you guys can see everything and I don't miss anything. All right. So the next thing you want to do, again, presentation is key. You're going to add a little sauce on that first layer. Now, if you are the kind of person that if you did not season your stuff enough and you like, oh man, I don't know where to add extra. You can always use garlic powder and a little butter on your noodles to give it extra flavoring. Okay, that's a good way to cheat in there. But because of how much seasoning I have, we're not going to need the extra seasoning on the noodles themselves. So if you're going to do chicken, for me, I'll do the vegetables first. It's just easier to layer it. So if you're going to do a vegetable linguine, again, those are fettuccine noodles, because they didn't have the linguine for our emergency. So I don't want y'all to think I don't know my noodles. But you're just going to lay those vegetables right on there over your sauce so that you're giving your family presentation. It's a show. You want to put on a great show. If you want them to start eating healthy, you got to present it. Okay? All right. And whoever in the comments below says what the secret ingredient is for kale gets 50 extra raffle tickets. So 50 extra raffle tickets for the night if you know what the secret ingredient is to making kale taste good. All right. So at this point, if you are just doing a veggie linguine, you're going to add your sauce at this point. But I'm just for this purpose, I'm going to do a chicken and vegetable. So then you add your chicken. Again, we're looking at presentation. So we want to make sure that it looks good. You're going to add your chicken on. I don't eat a lot of meat, so I'm not going to put too much meat on there. But of course, like my son-in-law, I pile the chicken on for him. So it's all about presentation, having it laid so that it looks desirable. That's going to be the key to getting your family to eat healthy. All right. Once you get all of your ingredients over the top, that's when you're going to kind of tap your sides and your top and go over lightly. So you'll see that the pepper in there and everything. You're just going to tap it a little bit. All right, guys. What did I do with the fork? Oh, there it is. All right, and there you go. That's this here would be a chicken and veggie linguine. I just put it all together so that you guys could see how to layer it. But you definitely want to have the veggies in it anyway, even for your chicken. So let's see how it came out. Perfect every time. Thank you for joining my channel. Thank you for joining my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please share it with people who are trying to eat healthy and just don't know what to do. Also, if you're the kind of people that you're so tired of cooking the same things that you're just not interested in creating anymore, in the kitchen, definitely like, share, and subscribe my channel. That's really good. We'll create a lot of menus together. Definitely reach out if there is something in particular that you would like me to cook, and we can experiment together. Like, share, and subscribe. Again, we will be doing our official launch. Our official launch is going to be January 6th. We'll be at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll definitely be on time. Amen. Um, you can also, there'll be workout videos on here. There's going to be some budget videos on here. Definitely take a look at the budget video. I'll be doing that next week. Definitely check that out so you can figure out how much money you need to make to reach your goals for 2023. I'll break it all the way down to how much you need to make an hour. Okay. And we'll split it up as a couple. So definitely look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you so much for your time and your patience. Thank you so much to all my friends and family who have really supported me through this. I really, really, really want to thank you guys so much, especially today. Everybody who gave me all the positive love and everything. I really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful holiday. Thank you for letting me into your homes for Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much.